Here we are.
Hello, somebody.
Senator Nina Turner here in California. All right, we're going to switch it around to Senator Nina Turner. Here we go.
Having me in tears. Thank you for opening up your home, and to all of the members of the Feel the Burn. Just thank you. Now I'm a member of Feel the Burn. Good to be in the Valley, and I am going to make a donation to the club. Yeah, you gotta pay it forward. I just appreciate you all so very much. Hanya certainly has been by my side. She was in Cleveland when we were fighting the left her baby and her husband and extended her stay. I want you to know something. You can never be wrong when you fight for justice. Hello, somebody.
Right.
And I know Chairman Armar is not here. I know that you guys, the progressives, fought very hard to get some changes within the party, which is one, not to take fossil fuel money. Was that one? And law enforcement. And law enforcement. And the corporatist Dems persevere. For now. For now.
Snakes.
I don't want you to get weary in well-doing. Certainly in the Christian tradition that I hail from, I come from the Black liberation theology. And part of that teaching, and I know that religion can be used in horrible ways, but religion can also be used to uplift humanity. We gotta pick the parts and live on those parts. For those of us, of us who do believe, there's some people who don't believe, and that's fine. All are welcome.
That's right.
But there's a scripture that says, "Do not get weary in well-doing." And so I want you to know that here in California, that the progressives, you are setting a very strong foundation for the rest of the nation. I do not want you to get weary in well-doing. I believe that this state is going to pass single-payer health, universal health care, and the rest of the nation is going to follow. Let us not forget that in Canada, it started in one province before it became universal in that entire country. Never doubt the power of people who are on a mission. And for all of the speakers, I mean, Servin, you took my, you laid it. I mean, he laid that. So let me put some icing on that, which is, we cannot build a future on a faulty foundation. Hello, somebody.
Hello.
We cannot build a future on a faulty foundation, and that's what Brother Servant, he was laying it all out. Like, we got all of this money for all of this other stuff, but when it comes to meeting the needs of the poor, the working poor, and the barely middle class, folks always want to ask us how we're going to pay for it. Well, we're going to pay for it in the same way we paid for the longest war in America's history. That's how we're going to pay for it.
Right.
We will pay for it in the same way that we give tax breaks to the ultra wealthy in this country. Right. That's how we're going to pay for it. And it is unconscionable, and I mean this from a moralistic point of view, also from a public policy point of view, to have most of the American people, no matter how they identify politically, who believe that we should have family leave. They believe
That's
it.
Right.
They were polled. They believe that our social contract, one to another, should be changed to pre-K to college. They believe it, or trade school.
That's right.
They believe that we have an obligation to ensure that we take care of Mother Earth, that we reverse the damage that we have done. Yet we got corporate interests that Congress, for the most part, the owner donors are in charge.
That's right.
And there is a corporatist wing in both parties.
That's right.
Corporatists run the Republican Party and corporatists run the Democratic Party. Hello, somebody. See, you need more truth tellers. And I'm willing to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Because I'm a grown woman right now, grown-ass woman.
That's right.
And so, I'm just sick and tired. As Fannie Lou Hamer once said, sick and tired of being sick and tired. We're sick of it. We are the wealthiest nation on the face of the earth. You hear Senator Bernard Sanders say this all the time. And my sister, to your brother, was it your brother who lost hope?
My parents.
Your parents lost hope. I get it. Because we keep voting for folks. We keep being told, just vote for this person or that person. And then when material changes do not happen, people do lose hope. But we, those of us who are in this movement, must resolve ourselves to undergird the hopeless. Because as humankind, hope drives us. And when we lose hope, we have lost it all. So sometimes we got to stand in for our sisters, our brothers, and our family and friends who have lost hope. It is logical to lose hope. I don't judge it either. I'm vibing with them. I understand it. But for those of us who have reconciled ourselves that no matter what happens, as they say in the black community, come hell or hot water, that we are going to continue to fight for what is just, what is right, what is good. We must be willing to share some of that energy with people who have given up. And I don't blame them. I mean, right now, the Democrats have majorities.
That's right.
And they still making excuses
That's
about
right.
why they can't deliver.
That's right.
And then they let 2 senators, which I believe ain't a shield for a lot of other folks. Hello, somebody. There's more than 2 of them. You better believe there's more than 2 of them. But let's just deal with these 2. President Manchin and Vice President Sinema. Or depending on what day it is, maybe it's President Sinema and Vice President Manchin. We have a problem, and the problem is called intestinal fortitude. Because of the weight of the
non-term limits,
that
that's
we are
another
in,
thing.
a global pandemic taking people out of here. And if you don't die physically, you're losing your livelihoods. And we can't get a Congress, whether it's Democrat or Republican, to stand up and deliver for the poor, the working poor, and the barely middle class. Something is wrong. But I believe that we can make it right. So when the candidates who are standing before you today, who have the courage to put their names on the ballot, we should support those candidates for what they stand for. Now, sisters and brothers, that doesn't mean that we're going to agree all the time. Can I just have a family conversation? Sometimes we can be a circular firing squad, and I don't understand this, progressives. I don't get it. There's a saying that is, if 2 people always agree, one is not needed. The prerequisite in our mighty movement should not be that we always agree on every single thing. Now, there's some fundamental things that we got to be in alignment with. Medicare for all is one of those. We can't negotiate on that. I'm sorry. But there may be some things where you want to do it another way. You feel like it's this way. You might not believe exactly what I believe. But then I'm going to throw you away. I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to talk about your mama. I'm going to kill the movement. You know, something's wrong with that. You know, I had a sister whisper in my ear, and she was giving me hope. She was, you know, lifting me up for what happened in my race. And then she talked to me about certain people who folks, you know, was on my campaign and what the Whisper campaign is. And I'm just using that as an example. And I'm saying to myself, that is not the focus. Sometimes you got to work with folks who you may not always agree with. Nobody is perfect. And so when you casting dispersions on people, when you really don't know, he or she without sin, or family members without sin cast the first stone. In other words, what Sister Turner is saying, that there will come moments where you might have to work with people who you don't always agree with, but when it comes time to stand up for justice, baby, I will sit across the table from Satan himself and his daughter if we're going to do some good in the world. We're going to do some good in the world. Now, we might get back to fighting after we settle on this issue, but for the moment, if we can agree on Medicare for all, if we can agree on a $15 an hour minimum wage, if we can agree that housing is a justice issue,
Human right.
if we can agree on something, I'm going to work with you. And so we got to stop getting tangled up about who's working on whose campaign and who said what and who did what. and worry about staying together. Because one of the things that the corporatists have shown our movement, that they will kill their mama to stop one of us. Hello, somebody.
Right.
I mean, that's the truth. They will mount up against progressives before they go against a Republican. Hello, somebody.
That's right. Fuckers.
Now, I learned that firsthand, not only being with Senator Bernard Sanders in both of his presidential campaigns, but I got a full taste of it in my special election.
Miss Fudge.
In the great state of Ohio.
That's right.
That they will mount up and partner with Republicans to stop a progressive. So what we cannot do is let the few things that we disagree on stop us from doing the work of the people. Because let me tell you something, they want to stop and divide the progressive movement because they know that the excitement is on our side, the energy is on our side, purpose is on our side, mission is on our side, and maybe the people are on our side.
Woo!
And they might not necessarily call themselves progressives, that's okay. But when you knock on doors and you're trying to convince somebody, if you talk to them about health care, how many people have somebody in their family? You know, you talk to them at the doors, how many people have somebody in their family? Cancer. Somebody in their family that couldn't afford to get their prescription drugs. Somebody in their family that's been laid off. Somebody in their family that's underemployed. Somebody in their family that's overworked. See, we can relate because it's called the human condition. And see, those corporatist folks who playing games, now they're going to pass a half-ass bill. What you say, serving what is bill back barely? No, that's what they're going to pass. Right. And they're going to try to sell it to us like it's the best thing since sweet potato pie. Where Michelle at? Michelle, my grandma got a sweet potato pie recipe too now. That's what a sweet potato pie. But meanwhile, you know,
back
they're
at the
going to
ranch.
try to sell it to us because they want us to accept the crumbs. It is time out for accepting half-measure BS. It ain't talking about Bernie Sanders. It's time to stop taking half-measure BS and stand up for what we believe in. Why can't we have nice things? I do believe that poor people deserve to live a good life. And that whether or not you live a good life should not be based on how much money you have in a bank account or how many stocks you have or how many people you robbed. I got a quote from Mother Jones that I'm feeling right now. She said she went to visit a man in jail. She asked the brother, why you in jail? He said, I stole some shoes. She told him, had you stolen a railroad, you'd be a senator. Hello?
Hell, hey, hey.
Mother Jones was all about it. I swear what she said resonates today. Today. To the women, Mother Jones said, in all that you do, never be ladylike. Hello, somebody.
That's right. Woo!
She said, I am a hell-raising humanitarian. No, I said I'm a hell-raising humanitarian. She said I'm a hell-raiser, not a humanitarian. Hello, somebody. We need more hell-raisers. So I took what Mother Jones said and I put them together. So I am a hell-raising humanitarian.
That's right.
Woo! Raise some hell.
That's right.
I was taught a long time ago that if your hair is on fire, you ought to act like your hair is on fire. Right? Can you imagine your hair physically being on fire and somebody said, just sit there cool, calm, and collected? That's really what we are being asked to do by the status quo right now, is to act like our hair is not on fire. Well, our hair is on fire, and we need to act like it. That's right. Now, progressives, we got to get a little more disciplined, okay? We do. Because the other side, they're disciplined, they're organized, and trying to stop us. We need some more discipline, so I'm having this love talk. Yeah, I'm going to call out the corporatists, but I'm calling us out right now, too. Everybody has a role to play. And you need to figure out what your individual role is and play that role. I want you to think of a 1,000-piece puzzle. All the pieces cannot be the same. Hello, somebody? I mean, that's real. And all they want us to do, who are the they? The corporatists. It's for us to fall out with one another so much so that we take our eye off the prize. What is the prize? I'm so glad you asked. We cannot build a future on a faulty foundation. It is to continue to know that you know that you know that you know that Medicare for all is not only the morally just and right thing to do, it is a policy measure that has political implications, that has economic implications that are good for individuals and for businesses. Hello, somebody. What we do know is investing in our people, in our human infrastructure, from pre-K to college or trade schools, is not only good policy, it's good politics. Hello, somebody. What we do know is admitting that as human beings, we have failed Mother Earth. We have failed the ecosystem that depends on us to do the right thing because of our human arrogance. We got oil barons, you know, they finally got a hearing called in to Congress, and they was lying their natural asses off. They know good and daggone well that what they are doing is contributing to the demise of Mother Earth. We got it in writing, some of the memos that they wrote, just like the tobacco companies sat up there once upon a time and said that they didn't know that tobacco causes cancer. They were lying then, and the coal companies, the oil industry is lying right now. If you're lying in the beginning, baby, you will be lying in the end. But what we do know is that saving Mother Earth for ourselves and for future generations is not only the politically right thing to do, the policy right thing to do, it is the morally right thing to do, and it's the economically right thing to do. How many jobs can we supply when people can make good wages? And let me just say this. I got a problem with isms. And my main one is racism.
That's right.
Racism and bigotry. No matter if it's xenophobia, homophobia, anti-Semitism, anti-blackness. Can I just rest in anti-blackness? Because I've been a black woman all my life.
Yes.
Islamophobia, yeah, all the phobias. Got a problem with it. One of the things, misogyny, all of that, okay, everybody got a role to play. I'm just telling you what my thing is. Can I just shout out, it's all right? It's Sister Turner rest in her thing. I'm just going to rest on my thing. I got a problem with all of the isms.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why they came at me so hard, and I was talking to my sister about this, is because I believe in justice and security for Israel and justice and security for Palestine.
That's right.
And I was told by certain folks that Palestinians have no rights that are above Israel.
Yeah, it's really like
I was also told that if I didn't disavow the squad, that they were going to come at me with everything that they had. And guess what, sisters and brothers, family and friends? I don't talk about this often, but I'm going to tell you something. We ran a hell of a race in Ohio. And this movement came to my rescue every time they came after me. California was my #1 donor state. I love you, California. And you show me love back. You guys put your time and your talent and your treasure. My home state was battling out. It was always between Ohio and New York. My top 3 donor states, California, Ohio, and New York, baby. You better believe it. You better believe it. California love is real. But let me go back to the reason why I told you that story. Because one of my mentors, Dr. Cornel West, and he says this all the time. He said, people can't tell us who to love. And I love the downtrodden and the marginalized. And whenever there's injustice, I think that we all have a responsibility to stand in the gap and speak a certain truth against injustice, no matter where it is and who it's against or for. Amen. And I was not about to sell my damn soul for a seat. So they ain't seen nothing yet. They're going to wish Sister Turner was in that. That's what they're going to wish. Because they haven't begun to see the organizing, standing up for people, standing beside people who are doing this great work. I want you to know, no matter what the situation, as my grandmother used to say, looks like in this moment, we will we will win.
That's right.
Now, sometimes you live to see it. And sometimes you don't. Like, we got to get comfortable with that. And so that's why I want to go back to my ancestors, to the racism and anti-blackness. I just got to rest right there. I know everybody else got all the isms. I'm against them. But my number one ism is racism and anti-blackness. And we need some allies and some co-conspirators. And it's not just white people who can be anti-black. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody.
Hello.
Every freedom movement, liberation movement was birthed from the black struggle.
Say it again.
Every framing was birthed from the black struggle. And what folks want to do is to separate the immigrant community from the black community.
Yeah.
To say it's them over there taken from you, it's them over there taken from you, it's them over there taken from you. And then to separate black and white and immigrant and gay and straight. Y'all know how this do, because the formula has been used for centuries.
Right.
And what we as progressives cannot do, must not allow them to separate us.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, we don't always have to agree, but we cannot be separated. So I need folks to be allied. There's a difference, as my friend Killer Michael Render always talks about. There's a difference between an ally and a co-conspirator. Now, allies right with you, but baby, the co-conspirator going to be right there in the trenches with you. We need some more co-conspirators. We need to be able to embrace each other's movements and be right there by each other's side when it comes time. One day it might be women's rights. The other time it might be immigrants. The other time it might be the LGBTQ plus IA movement.
Woo!
Sometimes it might be the black movement. Sometimes, y'all understand where I'm coming from?
right.
It might be
Yes.
reproductive rights.
right.
Yes.
But we got to stand strong with each other. You know, I was just in San Francisco and I got the Harvey Milk
Woo!
Democratic Club Civil Rights after Mr. Bayard Rustin Award. And I want the Harvey Milk Club to know that was one of my highest honors. Many of you may not be as familiar with Mr. Rustin, but he was the architect behind the March on Washington. What is the moral of the stories? Because I want to piece all of this together. Number one, we need each other.
Yes.
And you know, just like any family, you fight your family, but you still love them. We got to stick by each other's side. Do not let the corporatist power structure try to break us apart. And they also want to steal our hope. And that's why they come after candidates like me. That's why they come after candidates like Senator Sanders and so many other candidates. They come after us because they know that this movement is powerful. And so they want to knock off a leader here or there so that people lose hope. You can't lose hope. So we must stick together no matter what. Now that doesn't mean we don't have family meetings and call folks out every sometime. You got to do that. Have a family meeting. But we are together. We need each other. Number two, the people of this nation, whether they call themselves progressives or not, are with us.
That's right.
You know who the outliers are? You know the people who are wrong? Are them other folks. We right, they wrong. They're on the wrong side of history, not us. They are. And to the extent that they try to make us think that we are on the wrong side, no, baby, they are on the wrong side. We are on the right side. Now, we always got to rub that in their face. But what we do need to do is make sure that our actions, the things that we are working on and standing up for and fighting for and being champions for, that we never lose hope in the fight. Because we are going to have some valley moments. Some moments where you feel like, why am I doing this? I need my head examined. But don't you think that my ancestors had them kind of moments? I mean, it don't get deeper, no more deeper, than fighting for a type of freedom that you may never see.
Yeah.
don't get deeper than that. That knowing that when you birth a child in the world as a black woman, that child will be reconciled to take your condition. It don't get no more serious than having to stand on a block and knowing that you had no right, no guarantee that the children you birthed or the husband or wife that you marry or your parents or your sisters and brothers, that you all would be together for your lifetime. It don't get no more serious than that. The reason why I use this as an example is because you all are getting a visceral, emotional feeling back in your mind about what it was, what it would take to continue to persevere through something like that, and to never lose hope, and to begin to fight for and to plant trees whose shades you may never enjoy. In other words, there are generations of my ancestors who never saw freedom, who never got a chance to vote. Hello, somebody who never had a fancy title in front of their name, but they fought the good fight nevertheless, because they saw people like me and people like you in their mind's eye. We must have the same resolve.
That's right.
We gotta have it. Same thing I can use the suffragettes for an example too. Now I ain't gotta get all off into the race, this history of the suffragettes, but you know, I'm just gonna rest on their perseverance. Y'all know black women didn't get that vote right anyway. But Dr. Alice Paul, you know, Dr. Alice Paul, changing herself to the White House dates. Ain't nobody perfect. That's all I'm saying. That's all Sister Turner saying. A lot of things in these movements we can see where it was imperfection. To be human is to be imperfect. But imagine if they had given up. Then women would have never gotten the right to vote. We must be willing to continue to fight, knowing that the outcome eventually is going to be how we want it to be. Now, we're going to demand the stuff right now. We're going to fight for it right now. So when they tell us to wait, we're going to say, hell no, we ain't got to wait.
That's right.
If you can continue to fund the military-industrial complex and give them extra than what they asked for, what we got to wait for?
That's right.
Yeah.
We ain't got to wait. And we need to elect people who actually really care about the people that they running to serve.
Yes.
We got to primary these corporatisms every single damn time. Every time. Primary they behind every time. They need to get a clue. Because I'm going to tell you something. If I were the president,
When you are president. When.
And I wish, I put this message out. I wish President Biden would have took my advice right here, which is, Senator Joe Manchin, I'm coming to West Virginia.
There you go.
I'm bringing the West Wing to West Virginia. Let somebody, we ain't leaving. Why not?
Yeah.
We're not leaving until you get some act right.
That's right.
And then Senator Sinema, I'll be to Arizona directly, baby.
Yeah.
We ain't leaving until you get some act right.
That's right.
All you gotta do, just talk to some of these grandmas. They know how to make folks act right.
There you go.
Act right. All right, I'm gonna wrap this thing up. What time is it in Ohio? Me so much joy. I needed this energy to be, I feel so at home at California. I just don't want you to give up. You can be disappointed, you can be discouraged, but please don't give up. I don't often share this story, even though people have been following me. You kind of know my history, but I just want to remind you, oldest of 7 children, working class parents, working poor parents. And my mother died at the young age of 42 years.
Holy shit.
And I was in my mid-20s. I'm the oldest of 7. Everybody's about 2 years apart. And I was a sophomore at a community college trying to become a cycle breaker. I wanted to break the cycle of poverty and undereducation in my family's life.
That's right.
And to get the message that my mother had a brain aneurysm and that she was in a coma for a little while. And to be asked and told as the oldest child that I got to pull the plug on the woman who birthed 7 children in the world, was not perfect, but was my mama. My mother never lived to see her oldest daughter do some pretty incredible things.
Yes.
I do believe that. Let me just say, she didn't see it on the physical plane, but I do believe that her spirit is still with me and with us. So there are many mamas and daddies and aunts and uncles and family and friends, just people who are suffering. Langston Hughes asked a very important question in one of my favorite poems: what happens to a dream deferred? Another one of my favorite poems by Langston Hughes, Mother to Son: life ain't been no crystal stair. Progressives, freedom fighters, liberators, whatever we calling ourselves these days, what you are fighting for, what we are fighting for, is really bigger than each and every one of us. What we are fighting for is for the past, the people who laid a foundation for us to do what we are doing right now. We are fighting for our present, and we are fighting for the future. The reason why I am doing what I'm doing is nothing so special about me. We are all connected in this fight. Everybody has a reason as to why you are doing what you are doing. But when I think about struggle, I think about my mama. When I think about the fact that we have a sick care system in the United States of America, and not a health care system in the United States of America, I think about my mama. There's nothing special about why I'm fighting this fight. I want to try to stop anybody else from having or minimize dreams being deferred for poor mamas, for poor daddies, for poor aunties and uncles, for poor people in general, the downtrodden. Let me tell you something, Phil DeBurn. I know what it's like to miss a meal. My lived experience. See, I'm not one of those that ain't went through nothing. Let me tell you something. When you look at these candidates, you need to ask them, have they been through something? I don't want them prim and proper folks. I want somebody that's been through something. Somebody that's had a bankruptcy. Somebody who was late on their rent. Somebody that missed a car payment. Somebody who missed a meal. They're the kind of folks that need to be elected to office. Somebody who has real lived experience. Not the prim and proper folks. So to miss a meal is real. To have a mother and father that struggle to try to feed their children, it's real. And every time I come to California and I see the level of homelessness, now I go through, my city has it too, but it's just something about being in this state where it is so thick. And every time I ride by, tears well up in my eyes, because but by the grace of God, there go I. All of us have to count our blessings even in the imperfect moments. That there are people who may never say thank you to this movement, but they are dependent on us to keep on keeping on. Hello, somebody. So for my mama's memory, for my son, for my grandchildren. So I want for each and every one of you and your children, if you have them, and your family members, what I want for mine. And when you got folks that make money off, the coal mansion, when you got folks like, he gonna tell the president of the United States of America what he ain't gonna do, what he don't want in the bill. Something wrong with that. West Virginia is the 6th poorest state in the nation. The last time I checked, there are people in West Virginia that need health care. The last time I checked, there are people in West Virginia that need paid family leave. The last time I checked, there are people in West Virginia that need education.
Clean water.
Housing as a right. Good paying job. But this fool gets to tell the President of the United States of America what he gonna allow in the bill and what he ain't gonna allow in the bill. Something wrong with that. Yeah, there's something wrong with that. So whatever motivates you, whatever moves you, for whatever reason that you are in this movement, I want you to do the best that you can where you are with what you have. We are going to persevere. I can 100% guarantee you of that. Woo! We got to keep pushing no matter what. Come hell or high water. And never forget, as blessed as I am in this moment, I never forget the hunger pains. As blessed as I am in this moment, I never forget my mother being evicted. As blessed as I am, I never forget the moments when my mother was too embarrassed to tell us that she could not afford to pay the rent. So she made up stories about why we had to move. As blessed as I am right now, those type of memories are what fuel me to be the hell-raising humanitarian that I am today. Woo! It fuels me to be an angry ass black woman.
Yeah.
And I'm taking applications. Y'all all can join the club. And if you ain't mad about something wrong with you, you don't have a pulse. That's right. You're a little too comfortable. If you're not mad about something, let's take our anger and channel it into action. What are the actions that we must take? We must elect folks who care about people. We must continue to work the grassroots movement, because not everybody got to be elected. We need an inside and an outside game.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
We got to let the progressives in Congress know we got their back. Hold the line.
Yeah, that's right.
Till you get something, hold the line. All of you have a story to tell. My story is not unique. I wish that it were. It's not. So when you look at Sister Turner, I just want you to know I'm as flawed as everybody else, not as flawed as most.
Boom, boom. Hey, hey, hey.
Follow me on that. But I want to use what the creator of this universe has given me to do some good in the world. I started off by telling you about my liberation, black liberation theology background. I want to end that way. All of us are going to die one day. All of us got a date with destiny one day. To eulogize me. I don't want them to have to make up stuff. I want what they have to say about me to be true. That she stood up for what was just right and good. That she didn't sell out. That she stood in the gap for the people. That she told the truth. That she did not worry so much about what they had to say as much as standing up for the least of these, my sisters and brothers and my family and friends. I want that eulogy to be real. All of us should want our eulogy to be real. And we all cannot do the same things. Whatever it is that you can do, do what you can do. And together, like a 1,000-piece puzzle, we make the whole. The picture becomes clear when all of those pieces are together. But if those pieces were all the same, we can't all be the same. Our top 3 issues can't always all be the same, except for Medicare for all. There are some exceptions. As one of my friends said, and this wasn't necessarily her quote, but she said, life makes hypocrites of us all. We're going to pick and choose. We picking and choosing. I got another dear friend. She said, we always picking and choosing. Then we picking and choosing. Medicare for all. That's something we all gonna pick and choose. California, you going to get this done. All right, so let me close. I've been closing for the last 20 minutes. I'm really going to close.
You talking, Nina?
Man, I love me. I came all this way. I love you guys. And you know what? I'm just getting some stuff off my chest. In the black church, it was called testimony. I'm testimony.
We love you, Nina.
Don't get weary and well doing. So I am going to close with this. This is my traditional close. I really am going to close. You know, when you're preaching a politician, you give 6, 7 closes. I gotta say to you now, if anybody here that has never been to a black church, baby, you better put that on your bucket list. It's an experience like no other. You got to go. Be ready to stay 4 or 5 hours. It's a part-time job, depending on what church you go to. That is the tradition that pushes me. I really do care, and I give a shit. That's it.
We know.
Another
we
thing
love you.
I want to say to the movement before I close, for real, is that as we are fighting for all of these wonderful things, we can't get caught up in, we can't say that we want people to have Medicare for all and to be educated and to make a living wage. And housing is justice. And still want people to be poor. Are you following me? And sometimes in our movement, what we should be against is excessive greed.
That's right.
Like if you make your money off the backs and the sweat of other folks to their demise, if the way you make your money causes disruption to Mother Earth or disruption in other people's lives, if you make money in such a way that you don't want people to unionize, you following me? Then there's something wrong with the way you're making your money. But come on, freedom fighters. Now, I was born poor. I ain't trying to die poor. Now, Sister Turner want to have some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong with it.
Nope.
So we got to separate excessive greed from wealth.
That's right. Yeah.
Wealth is many things. It's your health. It's having a house to live in. It's being loved. It's being able to go to the hospital without first being asked the question, do you have insurance?
Right.
Before they see you.
That's right.
That's wealth. And wealth is being able to make enough money to be happy at some point. Now, money can't buy you love, but it can get you a certified used car every now and then. Can a sister take a vacation every now and then? Can I get a manicure or a pedicure every now and then? That's happy. Peace of mind. So we need people to make enough money to be able to do some of those things.
Yeah. Spread the wealth.
So you damn right, spread the wealth.
That's right.
So movement, what I am saying to you, that is when we are talking about wealth, we must talk about it in a way that is very inclusive and separated from excessive greed.
Yeah.
If we want people to continue to be poor, then why are we fighting for universal health care? Why are we fighting for a living wage? That's not it. But we fighting against excessive greed. So I had to get that off my chest too. Because you got some of these perfect folks who always want to judge somebody. I ain't never said, I ain't take no vow of poverty. I just want you to know that. I was born poor. I ain't trying to die poor. I want to enjoy some of this stuff while I'm on this earth. And I want to be able to pass something down to my son and to my grandchildren. Hello, somebody. Nothing wrong with it. It's all in how you make the money. And we got people like Dan Price, for example.
Yes.
You know, paying his folks more, a living wage.
70,000.
He took a pay cut. See, we need more damn prices in the world. Hello, somebody. Some more damn prices. We need some allies on that side. And I do want you to know, Valley, now I had some allies. I got to tell you, now the movement was fueled by the $27 folks, but I have me some some wealthy, ultra wealthy people who believe what we believe. How many of you heard of the patriotic millionaire? Yeah. Thank God for them. We need more of them. We need some rich folks that's going to help fuel this thing, who know that this system is rigged and that it's wrong and that we must do a new thing. Joe Sandberg is another one of them folks that's standing up and do. So we need some rich folks. We need some ultra wealthy folks on our side. Hello, somebody. We do need some of them. We got to have some in the club. We need some in the Freedom Fighter Club. Is that all right? We need them. Okay. Now this is it. This is it for real. Three things. No, I did not. I don't think I did. Three things. Number one, I believe that the creator of this great and grand and vast universe has given us two hands. One to reach forward and one to reach back, lifting as we climb. We are our sisters and our brothers and family and friends. We are their keepers. What happens to them happens to us. Number two, and most importantly, we can't ask other folks to do more for us than we are willing to do for ourselves. That's why we're in this fight. And lastly, in the words of my grandmother, who was born in the South in 1915, Grandma could not read or write, but she could count her money. And sisters, she kept her money in the Southern Ladies Bank and Trust. When I asked my grandmother, what does it take to be successful in life, she said, my dear grandmother, all you need. Michelle, is that for me?
Oh, no.
Okay. No, I'm good. I'm just messing with you. She said, all you need are all you need are the three bones, the wishbone, the jawbone, and the backbone.
Right.
She said the wishbone is my hoping and praying because hope is the motivator, but the dream is the driver. The jawbone will give you courage to lift your voice and to speak a certain type of truth to power. You see, titles are good, but purpose is better. And we need more purpose-driven people on the front lines of everything. Purpose is better. But the most important bone of all, is the backbone. Because the backbone will keep us standing through our trials and our tribulations. And in this life, we cannot have a testimony without having a test. And we are being tested. Yes, we from all walks of life, all identities. We are being tested to determine whether we have courage enough and conviction enough to do what is right in our time, to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because you cannot be a liberator and a freedom fighter without getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. When you are fighting for what is just, for what is right, and for what is good, you are going to suffer some discomfort for the cause. But ultimately, justice is going to win.
That's right.
God bless you, Valley.
Nina. That was the fabulous one and only Nina Turner doing her Nina Turner thing here in the Valley at Michelle Burns' house. So thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. And
Thank you so much, Senator, and thanks everybody. Now it's time to party. We're gonna have music, we have food, let's do this.
What an incredible speech. Hello, somebody.
Also, Feel the Burn had put $300 on it. I'm putting $300 on it. Renee, our secretary, put $300 on it.
Here's the Rona.
If you want to go
Rona to you, Rona to me, Rona to we. Here we are.
You can too, or donate.
Cheers to y'all. Carrot Cops. I love you. Melon, you still there?
No, don't y'all, you might not know, you might not have had to pay to come in, but you got to pay to get out. Please donate to this movement. Please. Yeah, are we over there?
Let's try to take a group picture first before we part. Both me and everyone.
I'm heading out. Or putting the phone down. So
Look what
fucking jamming.
impact we made.
Keep jamming.
Because
Alright. Peace. Love.
of this equipment we
Fucking
have.
going down, motherfuckers. Hell
And
yeah.
I'd like to
Hello,
give a
somebody.
shout out to
Yeah.
my father.